Alrighty, folks, this is going to be the 17th or 16th, one or the other, 16th or 17th psychological lecture. And in today's psychological lecture, we are going to be talking about stop being a sitting duck in day trading, right? So I want to originate where the terminology sitting duck comes from. So this has been with me for so long. And it was when I was a younger kid. I had two friends that were older and they were very, very, very rich. They were NFT and crypto traders. And at the time, I was dead broke. This was like right before I turned profitable. I started hanging out with them. I met them in high school, whatever. They were brothers. It was a younger brother and older brother. I was friends with the younger brother, and then the younger brother, I obviously met the older brother off of. Really great guys. I'm still friends with them to this day. Probably my closest friends at my current stage that I'm in. And they said something really interesting that has always stuck with me. And what that was specifically is at the time, I was doing nothing with my life. I would just hang out all day, right? Right before I turned profitable. I want to say this is like a year before I turned profitable. And they said something to me once, and I originally got mad that they told me this, but then I realized like, I need to actually start doing this. And what that term was is stop being a sitting duck. I remember I was sitting there and I was just telling them like, bro, I'm so mad. Like, I'm so broke right now. Like, I'm so mad. Like, I hate doing Instacart. I hate doing DoorDash. I hate doing all these things. And they literally just told me, the older brother was literally like, just stop being a sitting duck. And I was like, what do you mean being a sitting duck? And then we go back and forth, and I'm obviously angry because I was egotistical back then and I needed to kill that version of myself. But what I mean by sitting duck is you all hope and pray for a different outcome. You're like, I don't understand how incapable you are. Like, you don't want this. I promise you don't want this. And I just got a TikTok comment that was a sense of hate. Now, this kid has been commenting on every single one of my TikToks for, I want to say the last 2 weeks. It was like saying, just drop a trade breakdown. He specifically on one of my videos, it's the video that I made 3,000 into 8,000, right? It was like 190% gainer. And I posted the entire thing live. Like, I showed the P&L and I showed the fluctuation of the P&L, me closing it, whatever. He then proceeds to comment, if you ain't ever going to do a trade recap, you just the final boss of course selling. So I wasn't going to give this attention because it's just like, it's an anonymous dude. His name's Griffin. His name, like, I don't know. He's just a random dude, right? But I wanted to talk about this specifically because there's a lesson in everything, right? I can read a person directly just off the message he sends. So instead of just clicking the link in my bio to my YouTube channel, not even to my Discord, right? Specifically just to my YouTube to look at all the trade breakdowns I already post. Instead, right, while he's scrolling in bed, he's probably fat, probably just laying there, sack of shit, sitting duck. He comments, if you ain't ever going to do a trade recap, you're just the final boss of course selling. I proceed to respond, trades on my YouTube explaining exactly why while I'm in the trade. I'll continue winning in all realms of life while helping people. Instead of sitting on TikTok begging, go help yourself. And there's a very interesting lesson specifically within this message. And the message was, right, stop being a sitting duck, like I originated. And like I said, majority of you guys are just hoping, praying, and begging for a miracle to come into your life, specifically in day trading. And it bothers me so much because you actively have all the resources to change your life. It has never been easier to learn how to day trade, especially with how many people there are that are consistently profitable. Now, the thing I want you guys to realize is there is no magic pill or magic formula to seeing ultimate success in your life. As someone who is ultimately successful at a young age, I promise you, I can tell you guys and reassure one thing to you guys. And that one specific thing is ultimately there is no magic pill. There's no magic solution. There's no magic sauce. There is magic in the strategy that I teach because I'm just that guy. But there's no magic solution to the work, right? I tell people DM me in my Discord, how long is it going to take me to become profitable? And I don't even give them a response. I tell them specifically, everything is variable depending on how much work you put in. The more work you put in, the faster you'll become profitable. That's just the simple laws of the universe, applying also all the psychology that I teach. Now, you all are thinking, I'm going to just do this one thing and it'll turn me profitable, or I'm missing this one indicator, or I'm missing this one little thing that will lead me to become profitable. When the honest reality is it's just simple work, right? How much hours can I backtest? How much hours can I forward test a strategy? How many hours can I focus on psychology and identifying the problems I face on a day-to-day basis? The constant repetitive message I will repeat to you guys is you guys are trying to solve a problem you don't even know you have in the first place. You gauge psychology as like a broad statement. It's a word that we just toss around in the trading space. Oh yeah, my psychology is bad. Okay, cool. Your psychology is bad. What specifically around your psychology is bad? I don't know. Okay, that's why you're failing. Why do you think, and why else do you think you are failing? It's not your strategy, because most ICT traders specifically have a profitable strategy. It's not X, Y, and Z problem. I'll argue the fact I can turn someone profitable without even teaching them the strategy I trade. I can have them go watch TJR's bootcamp, or I can go have them watch a random YouTuber specifically and tell them, hey, follow these steps step by step. Come back to me and come back with your psychology, right, out of shock, and come to me, ask me questions specifically, and gauge your individual problems that you are having and facing specifically with your psychology. And then from there, it becomes relatively easy to fix all the problems because you have them outlined, right? Like, take, for example, a sports player. If a sports player has an individual problem, do they just say, I'm unathletic? No. Why the hell on God's green earth would they just say, oh yeah, I'm unathletic? No, they would identify the individual problem. Okay, maybe it's their vertical. Maybe it's their jump shot. Maybe it's their free throw. What is your individual problems? And then from there, it becomes easy to create a solution around those individual problems. But the problem is you are trying to fix and create a solution to problems you don't even know you have. Like 0 plus 0 equals 0. No outcome, right? In terms of your psychology, you have no gauge on what psychological issues you have. Plus 0, you have no idea of what your strategy entails, or the statistical data around the strategy equals 0. You're ultimately going to fail in every realm of your life. Not my fault. I already help you guys enough for free. And for example, this guy just coming at me and saying, let me just read this out loud again. If you ain't ever going to do a trade recap, you just incorrectly spells the final boss of course selling. Like, how incapable of a human being are you where you're that much of a dipshit, where you, instead of, hey, let me just click on his YouTube, see if there's any trade breakdowns there, you comment on a TikTok. This is why I'm saying this is why majority of human beings fail. It's because of their incapableness, right? You are an incapable human being. You are not resourceful. This is why you are failing, and you will stay a peon for the rest of your life. If you cannot simply click on a YouTube video or search a YouTube video, how do you expect to succeed in the hardest financial and institutional marketplace? You are that incapable. Like, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind specifically that there are this many incapable human beings. And look, I don't blame them, because majority of the demographic and age group of day traders is in the age group of 15 to 25 years old. So they're all young and relatively young. That does not give you an excuse for how incapable of a human being you are, though. You need to take action and do what? What is the title of this video? Stop being a sitting duck. You need to grab life by the throat, choke the shit out of it, and get and steal all of its energy and money and power and things you want in this life. I have so much fire in my blood right now. I just want to conquer the entire world at this point. And I'm not, bro, I only have 3,000 subscribers. Just imagine where I'll be at once I'm at 100, 200, 300, 400,000 subscribers. Because I know I'll get there. 100%, no doubt in my mind for a second that I won't get there. And what I'm saying is, it's hard for you guys to break that feeling of being a sitting duck when you have no success or no sense of achievements to look at. And the one simple solution is God is testing you specifically if you can build the habits that will lead you down to become profitable while you're unprofitable. It's like a puzzle piece. You're missing that puzzle piece in order to get to the next level. So you need to focus and stop being an incapable human being. How do you expect to get everything you want out of this life while being an incapable human being to the point of not even being able to click on a YouTube video, or learn a strategy, or fix your psychology, or telling yourself and controlling your mind after your trade hits stop loss or take profit? These are all things you need to work on and say, you know what? Salmon's right. This is the reason why I'm failing. Let me try to fix myself, and let me identify specifically what my problems are. And let me create a blueprint and parameter around fixing those individual problems. But until then, don't expect your life to change. This is what I'm saying. How do you expect your life to change when you don't even have your problems identified? And why you have done this your entire life is specifically because of your ego. Your ego tells you, you know what, I'm good. I don't have any problems right now. Let me just continue trading. Let me just go buy another funded account. At that point, G, you know what you should do? You probably have a higher percentage of making money by going to your local casino and playing blackjack. Genuinely, you have a higher probable chance of making money by going to your local casino and playing blackjack. Because of the fact how do you solve a problem without knowing what your individual problems are in the first place? Well, the analogy I repeat all the time is imagine you walked into your classroom and your teacher says, all right, guys, it's time for a quiz. You haven't learned anything about this subject, and it's a completely random quiz. And if you don't pass, I'm going to sock you in your jaw, and I'm going to steal your money, and your grandma's going to get a flying knee to her face, and I'm going to slap the shit out of you, and you better pass or you're done for, and you're cooked. You would be sitting there saying, what the fuck? What is happening right now? But that's ultimately how your life is right now. You're trying to solve a problem that you don't even know you have. That's why you are unprofitable. You don't know these things. So you need to reflect after this video. You need to sit down and reflect and say, what are the problems I'm facing? Okay, I'm overtrading. The second one, I go on tilt when I get stopped out. Okay. Third one, I'm over leveraged. Boom, I just got 3 problems identified. Okay, now let me create a blueprint structure and parameter to solving those problems. Now, how do we go about doing that? Okay, well, for overtrading, you know what? I'm just going to do shock therapy. Shock therapy has been a study in which has been worked on multiple people, right? So shock therapy, if you get a sensation or urge to want to do something, if you pinch yourself or you get a rubber band, pull it back and allow it to hit your wrist, your psychology and the way that your brain operates gets shocked and stops thinking in that weird phase and stage. That's overtrading. Oh, going on tilt. Well, you know what? Honestly, I have 2 solutions with going on tilt. Either one, I lose so many times where I just get to a point of saying, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Or 2 is identifying and having complete control over your mind and building external disciplinary actions that will allow you to conquer in all realms of your life. And then for number 3, let's talk about over-leveraging. Well, over-leveraging, I have to realize that I'm trying to speedrun the outcome. I'm trying to speedrun success, and this is why I'm failing. So you know what I need to do is I need to just realize and gauge, you know what? I actually don't need to over-leverage because of the fact that if I continue to over-leverage, I'll just continue blowing accounts. And look, I used to listen to people that would say the same things over again, and then I wouldn't apply anything after the video. And then I would be so sad on asking myself why this was not working. Why wasn't day trading working when I was unprofitable? Simply because of application, right? We can listen and watch videos all day long, Monday through Sunday, every single day of the week. But the difference and the difference maker, specifically with all of you and all of my viewers right now as we speak, is simply application. Majority of you will fail watching this video. Unfortunate reality. I will always be real with you guys. You will all fail. Not all, but majority of you, right, will fall into the demographic of losing traders. You will be, and you will fall into that 90% demographic if you do not apply the concepts and the things that I say out of my mouth after the video ends. So your first task and your first piece of homework is going to be after this video. I don't want to hear after the shower, or I don't want to hear after or tomorrow, or after I trade tomorrow, or after I do X, Y, and Z tomorrow. No, fuck that. Fuck that. You need to identify all your problems right after this video ends in roughly 1 minute. And if you fail to do that, I promise you and I guarantee you one thing is that you will be a peon and a slave for the rest of your life. I'll guarantee you, I personally will guarantee you it. Have complete control of your mind and have sense of urgency. Stop being a sitting duck and hoping and praying for a miracle. Like a dickhead. Absolute dickhead. And this is why I don't feel a sense of sadness or sorrow for these people. And the only reason why I don't is because I went through the exact same thing that you went through and I made it out on the other side. What was the difference between me? I just applied myself. That's all I did. Nothing else. That's it. That's going to be the end of this video. If you made it to the end of this video, comment the words @Salman I am not a sitting duck. I'll be watching. If you fail to do that, have a good life, my friend. @Salman I am and I will not be a sitting duck. I love you guys. I will see you in tomorrow's video. I'll probably end up taking some trades tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope the best for you. I hope prosperity amongst all of you. I hope all of you and all my viewers succeed in this life. Because I know how difficult it is. But trust me, you need to keep going 10 times hard and harder than you are currently going. See you guys tomorrow.